Alright, and welcome. Get set up here. Took a quick peek on the leaderboards just to see the builds that were at the top of the Necromancer. Just to see how different they were from mine. There were some differences that I think were kind of minor. But there are also some major ones. And some ones that I think could be, for me at least, a little disappointing as far as in general how the Necromancer is going to go this season. The thing that might disappoint me the most is that it looks like it's the kind of build we've really got to fish for the best maps. And if you find a really good map set up perfectly, you're most likely going to win it. But you might have to search through 10 different greater rifts in order to get that one that's really good. Some of the major, let's just take a quick peek at mine. Some of the minor differences that I think that they're doing, they're not using Jesseth. Instead, they're going with this as the main weapon, plus the one that gives you half of your essence as a bonus to damage, and then one of the offhands. I think mine is pretty equivalent to that. I think this is pretty equivalent, especially if you don't have, like, the one that I saw had a primal version of this. You know, maybe if you got a primal version of it and you get that full 400 bonus percent, okay, you know, then maybe that might be worth it. But you know, I don't have a primal version of it. My version of it is pretty weak. So maybe if I were to get a really good version of Sith of the Sickle, I might go back to that. But I think this is pretty good, and it's slightly more defensive because I've got Jesseth, and Jesseth also has 5 primary abilities instead of 4. So you know, I think that mine is at least somewhat equivalent. The other thing that they're doing, instead of using Captain Crimson, they're going with a Shearer, which is this right here, the bracers and the shoulders. Once again, I think mine is somewhat equivalent. Their bonuses are better overall than what Captain Crimson is going to offer, but I've got the extra resource cost reduction, which is going to allow me to replenish or keep firing bone spears a lot more than they will, because I'm going to run out of essence a lot less. It's going to take me a lot longer to run out of essence. So and instead of they've got the belt on, Dainty's belt, but I've got this. They're not using Razeth's Volition. So I think it's at least somewhat equivalent. I mean, they might be doing a little bit more damage, but not much. Not by that. Not with that change. You know, and I might experiment around with that at some point in the future. Oh yeah, and because I'm using Jesseth, I've got to have the skeletons. Instead of the skeleton, they have Blood Rush. Okay, I can see the advantage of Blood Rush. You can get a bonus to your armor, and you can teleport a little bit faster. You can go a little bit faster through the map. They've got some differences with their passive skills. One I saw wasn't using Final Service. I guess I could try to give up Final Service, but because they're not using the skeletons, they can go with standalone, which really isn't going to help me too much. They're not using Eternal Torment, Spreading Malediction. They get a little bit more damage because they're using a weapon that gives them a bonus to damage with their maximum essence. I do have to admit that I have to struggle to search to find something good as far as passive skills go. There's not really a whole lot for me with the passive skills. So I'm just going with this to make my curses last forever. Maybe I don't really need that. I don't know. And spreading malediction, I could probably do better than spreading malediction. It's nice when there's a bunch of creatures on the board and they're all hit, but once the creatures start whittling down and there's only 1 or 2 left, then this becomes completely ineffective. So you might want to take a look at that. Okay, but what are some of the biggest differences? What are some of the biggest? Okay, one of the biggest differences is I've got this legendary gem, Molten Wildebeest Gizzard. Overall, I would say in general their builds are more offensive, whereas I've got a few good defensive components here. So I'm gonna give up some of my defense and go for offense, and one of them is the Molten Wildebeest Gizzard. Now I don't have very many legendary gems because I did just augment a while back. The only really good offensive gem I've got, good being relatively speaking, is this one right here. It is going to give me 15% reduced damage from elites. The only thing I don't like about it is you've got to kill an entire elite pack, including all of the little helpers, in order to get the 20% bonus. But it's all I've got. This one is one that a lot of people are using, I saw. And of course this one, everyone loves this one. I really don't like this one. But for this build here, not a lot of good choices. Not many people are using Enforcer. I was really surprised. You know, just 54% damage seemed pretty good. Alright, but I am just going to go with this one for now. The other big difference that I see people I saw someone not using, they're not using Unity. And that really, I was like, you know, 50% damage reduction, not using Unity. That, to me, I was really surprised. They're going with Convention of the Elements. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to survive without Unity, but I mean I'll give it a try. Maybe this build is defensive enough, especially with Jesseth's shield, skull shield here. Maybe I'll be doing okay. So I'll have an extra 50% damage there. I am gonna keep Final Service. So if I do die, you know, it won't be a permanent death per se. Some little things I could change if need be. I could, right now I've got this set to the cold one. I could switch it over to the blood one to where they my health gets restored. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm gonna be curious to see. Okay, so that means that my follower does not need Unity, so I'm going to give her back Oculus, and maybe that's where their Blood Rush might come in a little more handy. I have trouble getting to
magnificent
the Oculus ring that appears when a creature dies, so maybe that's where their Blood Rush could come in handy. And I think I've got a couple other little things I can change out here too. Although I don't think I want to change them out now, but cooldown reduction for a little bit extra damage. Let's see, can I get something better than that? No, I really can't, I guess. I mean, I could get something a little more defensive, which I might do. Maybe not. Maybe I'll keep that cooldown reduction. I thought I had noticed something else. Okay, this armor I could eventually switch over to physical damage. Okay, and let me go into that too. It seemed like their builds were set up for maps with lots of creatures. They were using Grimsith instead of Siphon Blood to restore their essence. And that really only restores a lot of essence if there's a lot of creatures on the board. And they were using the Blighted Bone Spear, which gives you a bonus to damage for every enemy it passes through. So I can kind of see if you've got a map full of creatures, you shoot out the Blighted Spear, it passes through all those creatures, you get a huge bonus. And if you run out of essence, you swing once or twice with Grimsith, and now you're back up to full. I really just don't like the idea of fishing through maps, greater rifts, just to find the one map that's got a ton of creatures on it where, yes, now my build is going to shine. I just don't like that idea right now. I'm already right now, I have to keep an eye out for Juggernaut and Waller type of elites, because especially Juggernaut really nerfs this build really bad, because they're only going to be taking about a quarter of the damage they might be, or half the damage they might be, because it knocks out completely all the bonus damage from my Crispin Sentence and from my Bane of the Trapped. So the Juggernaut, I hate to say it, but I almost have to skip those. Waller, any type of wall, any type of obstruction. Any type of obstruction takes away from my bone spears. So I'm just gonna play around with this, see if this is going to be defensive enough to where hopefully I won't die, or if I do, I won't die a second time with my final service will save me. Alright. Let's just try. I'm hoping, and I don't know if I've read this correctly, but damage is increased 10% each time damage is dealt. Maximum 10 stacks. I'm hoping that increases all of my damage, not just. And I could probably test that out. I don't know. I'm going to test it out on a zombie out here.
Zakarum has fallen to disgrace.
I don't know if it'll tell me. Sometimes it tells you on your... If it seems like I'm gaining more damage.
Let us hurry. It is not too late to save this town.
I'm hoping it's not just the damage of the Siphon Blood. Not telling me. I was hoping I would have seen my damage numbers go up by doing that, but they're not going up, so I don't know. I guess I just gotta hope that I'm reading that correctly, because if it's just the damage of this going up 100%, then that's not really a big help. It's not any help at all. But if it's all of my damage going up, then it's a big help. All right, 120. Here we go. Give it a shot. could have tried. I think I could try it.
Have stood where you are now, but few succeeded in overcoming.
You see that enemy over there? Let us cleanse it from this land.
Oh, come on, get out of my
My essence is too low. A grave beckons. I need essence. My essence is too low. The night embraces you.
kill the whole pack there to gain the bonus. Juggernaut. This is why I gotta skip the Juggernaut, I guess. You could say it, but... Doing good until I ran into that Juggernaut. What a waste of a conduit shrine. That sucks. Horrible. Some things I forgot. Some things I forgot. I wanted to change. I forgot all about them. Oh. Doing well. I was doing well. I think I messed up. I messed up on a couple things.
I must wait. The night embraces you.
One thing that I did wrong is I forgot to switch this over to the poison dislocation one. I know that's one thing. And then I didn't check the
I am returning to town.
I didn't check to make sure I wasn't fighting that Juggernaut. That Juggernaut one, I guess I should have just skipped that one
Angels would be
altogether.
proud.
Well done.
Another thing I wanted to do is I wanted to try switching, getting out of this frailty.
Fortune favors the bold. What a steal. Don't
My
forget,
bag is
luck
full.
always changes.
I like the fact that I don't have to actually cast the frailty,
Such a brave soul.
but I think there might be better ones that I could use.
Do come back again.
My bag is
I
full.
didn't even know I had that thing.
I think I did better though. I did die once or twice, but I had my final service kick in. Okay, this will help out a little bit. The other advantage that some of the other builds have is that they have this in their cube, which means they get the full 400% bonus. So since mine's only 361%, that's 40% less damage that I've got. So this will help out, and getting a better version of this will help out. So that's going to be an extra, I don't know if it's, the way they calculate, I don't know if it's an extra 10% damage, but it's definitely more, and I definitely want to get a better one as close to 400% as possible. So they're using Auguils, which is a shoulder and bracers, so they have this bracer in their shield. I mean, in their cube. And I didn't really want to spend too much resources on some of these items because I didn't know if this was going to be like, quote unquote, my final build or not. I think I had the bonus for the Bane of the Powerful, pretty much the whole Rift. Even though I have to kill the whole elite pack. By the time I kill, if there's a yellow with a bunch of little helpers, by the time I've finally killed the yellow guy, most of his helpers are almost dead anyways, so I think I'm alright with that. Granted, it's not much. We're only talking about a 35% bonus to damage, 15% damage reduction. This one is going to gain the extra cooldown reduction for bonus to damage with my Captain Crimson. And the dodge and an extra 15% attack speed. I don't know. Another thing I keep forgetting is that I don't need to be next to the enemy to do bonus damage, which normally you have to with the Bane of the Trapped. You have to be within 15 yards, but here I don't. Especially once I switch this over. Let's switch that over right. First of all, let's switch this over to dislocation. I could even go movement speed. This would get me extra damage. Crispin Sentence would kick in more. But this would get me an extra 15% movement speed, which I feel like I almost would like to have that more. Sometimes it feels like that's the other advantage, I guess, to Blood Rush. Is that, you know, you get through the map and you get to the pylons a little faster. But at the higher levels, I found that the pylons really aren't helping out all that much anyways. So I'll just stick with this one. I wish I could just get just something with just a pure bonus that is useful pretty much all the time, but really don't have hardly anything. I mean, I could go with this, but I really don't have much life on hit.
Should I return to my slumber?
This will give me my essence back a little bit faster. Maybe this would be more useful. This would be good if I'm far away. At least this would be a little more reliable. And then this, I was thinking of changing it over to this one. This would give me an extra, this will give me extra damage reduction. This would be an extra 15%. This might be good too. Extra 15% damage. Let's go with this one. But now I have to actually cast it. Alright, let's give it a try. I got everything. Dislocation. Give it a shot.
Prove yourself worthy of your fate.
Where is it?
Your death nears.
Did I kill it? Oh, come on. Get my way. Wrong button.
This world can abide you no longer.
Oh, come on. I don't know. I don't. How do you do it? I keep hitting the wrong button. Man, why do I keep doing that? Get it. I don't get it.
I'm returning to town.
I was recasting my simulacrum. That's what it was. Alright. So I wasn't recasting my Simulacrum. That's why I kept dying like that. Simulacrum is really extremely defensive. I don't think I can do this. There's just too much that I have to focus on. Just the extra 15% damage that the creatures are going to take is not worth the... Especially seeing as how I took away... the Eternal Torment. Alright. Let's get rid of this. And go back to Eternal Torment. Alrighty. I'm gonna switch the frailty back to the aura. You know, maybe once I get really used to the build and how it works, then maybe I can think about going back to where I actually manually cast this. I think for now, since I'm still just getting used to it, there's just too much going on at the moment. I mean, I'm forgetting to cast it. I just want to be able to run by the creatures and have it automatically cast at them. But the big thing is this legendary gem right here. I mean, it does me virtually no good, at least defensively, against the regular little guys. So unless I'm going to stop to fight those little guys, which I could think about doing, especially if there's a lot of them, like in that last map there, tough to just run past them without the illusory boots or something like that. Well, maybe I could think about stopping to fight them at least a little bit on the way. Normally I don't like to fight the little guys, but I might have to with this setup. Alright, so let's try it again. Okay, I'll be right back.